What's happening, beautiful people? It's your girl Winnie here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about my weight loss struggles. I know it's something that a lot of people go through, and everybody has some kind of body issue that they have, but I've been dealing with this for a very long time. It's taken me a long time to learn to love myself, to accept myself, and it's just been a long journey, and there's still journey left to be taken. So yeah, I think I'll start from the very beginning and work my way up, which is obviously the best place to start, obviously. So I think I started putting on weight round about between ages 8 and 10, somewhere. Can't remember exactly when, but somewhere between there. And so I was in junior school when I started putting on weight. I used to weigh myself quite often, and I always used to say to me, every time I weighed myself, that this is it, I'm going to stop here, I'm not going to put on any more weight, I'm just going to let myself, I'm just going to stay the same weight, and as I grow, or as I grow up, I won't be as big. So that was my mindset every year. However, every year I would put on more weight. I also remember, going into the clothes store for kids, and not being able to find any clothes for me, or I would have to shop in the adult section, and even then there was very limited clothes. I remember going to church and having to wear old people stuff. I remember having to shop at places like Bon Marche, Bon Marche. It was just a mess, and it really affected my self-esteem and how I viewed myself. So this is how it all started. My dad, he used to work away a lot. He was an electrician. Well, he still is an electrician. But he used to work away in like Germany, France, Holland, around the country, out of the country, just around Europe. He used to work, and he used to be away for long periods of time. And me, I was a daddy's girl, so I always loved when dad came home. When dad did come home, fam, he used to throw down in the kitchen. Sorry guys, I was waffling for way too long. Let's just skip all of that. So having those almost every morning, for me, the weight just started to pile on. And me, I eat my food as I'm enjoying it, because I am. I like to savour every part of my food, especially when it's good. I'm vexed when my food don't taste good, or somebody messes up with the food. Like, it vexes me. It needs to taste good. It needs to have seasoning. It can't be bland, or I'm just not enjoying it. And yeah, it just is what it is. So that was one thing. So as I started to pile on the weight, I never really gained control of it, because I started to get bullied at school, and not just like words. I was physically bullied at school. I used to get kicked, punched, pushed around, slapped. I used to get everything. So that started to affect me, and while I was being bullied, even though, well, it did start to affect me emotionally. However, I learned to kind of keep a smile on my face and just be positive. And I was always that person. No matter who hurt me, I was always able to see the good in them, and I could be friends with them still, and that kind of thing. And I don't know whether that was just an insecurity thing, but I always had the ability to just always show love to people, regardless of how they treated me. But what I started to do was compensate with food. So I would like sneak snacks like chocolate bars and stuff like that, crisps, fizzy drinks like in the night, or I would hide them under my pillow. But I started to use food as a comfort. But it was always that vicious cycle. It was, you'd eat to feel good, but the food you eat would make you put on more weight, which would make you feel bad. So you would then eat again to make yourself feel good, and that feel good feeling would only last while you were eating the actual food. The moment the food was done, you felt guilty, you felt down, you felt depressed, you felt horrible, you felt bad about yourself. It was that vicious cycle that I went through. However, everybody always knew me as the bright, bubbly girl, the one with always a smile on her face, always singing. And that was me. I suppose that kind of kept me mentally. I got to a certain age, I think, let me see. I'm trying to remember what age I started my first diet. I think I was in senior school, maybe around 12. I think about 12. Especially when I started thinking about boys and stuff. I think it was probably about 12, 13. That's when I started thinking about dieting. So you would always get like, you know, you get those teen magazines, and they'd tell you like different like celebrity diets or fad diets they were called. So I tried them all out, and you'd lose a bit of weight in the beginning, and then it would be unsustainable. Like you couldn't like do it for more than a week or two, because it would be just so difficult. The calorie intake would be just literally next to zero. So I would always fail at it. I remember doing Atkins diet, and I specifically remember one of my uncles on my dad's side, he was doing it, so he told me about it and I started doing it. Now, it was a good diet. However, you had to cut carbs out completely initially, and then obviously as you lose the weight, gradually you would start to introduce carbs back into your diet, so that eventually you'd be eating normally and be able to keep the weight on. So that was the idea of it. So initially it was working really well, but my issue was that it started to affect my body in certain ways. Like I would get headaches, I started to feel dizzy, I started to feel sick, because I went from eating a lot of carbs to literally zero. It was like my body was going through withdrawals, and I just felt sick all the time. So even though it worked initially, over the first month it was great, but then after that I just felt so bad that I couldn't do it anymore. So I just started introducing carbs back into my diet. I was still young then, so I didn't really have the concept of like persevering through things. If I felt bad and it was upsetting me in some kind of way, then I would just stop. So did the Atkins diet, and then so I think I remember when my church, they used to have a gym, and they used to do circuit training, so I actually started doing that, and I used to cut down my meals, so I was doing something more natural to help me lose the weight. But I didn't really get any like nutritional advice necessarily. I just kind of went by what everybody thinks is healthy. So, but I enjoyed the circuit training. They would do like spin cycles, they'd do weights, they would do boxercise, they would do different exercises in a circuit, and we'd go around a couple of times doing certain reps and all that kind of stuff. So it was really enjoyable, and everybody that I knew were doing the same thing. They were all going to the same class, so it was really enjoyable. But I also realised that I wasn't getting the results that I wanted quick. Like, you know, with the fad diets, you would lose a lot of weight in the beginning, so you'd see a lot of results in the beginning. I wasn't seeing any results really. I'd probably like lose a pound a week, a couple of pounds a week maybe, and it got very frustrating, because I'm like, alright, this is the way that people tell you should lose weight, and it's not working for me. So how do I do this? I went through Weight Watchers. I went through Slimming World when I was working in hospitals. And Weight Watch is one of the longest running weight loss programs that I know. So I did that, did Slimming World. I then also, after I moved away from Warsaw and moved to London, I started doing a diet called LipoTrim, which actually was really good. And I would have stuck to that. They did shakes, soups and bars. And it was dirt cheap. I mean, like £35 a month. That's all it was when I was doing it. So it was, even though it was hard, because I was determined, I stuck to it. And it was really working for me. But then the place that I used to get the supplies from stopped supplying them. So, and I didn't know where else to get them. I did some kind of research, but couldn't find anywhere near me that did them as well. So I had to stop that. And because with the LipoTrim, diet, you are literally just using their products. It's just the shakes, the soups and the snacks. You drink a lot of water. So it's the idea of putting your body into ketosis to burn fat. So you didn't eat any normal natural foods. You would only start gradually doing that later on once you've lost the bulk of the weight and you want to start introducing food gradually to help you to learn to maintain the weight loss. So I did that. I was so bummed when they stopped doing them because it was so cheap. So then I found a Cambridge rep near where I lived. So I started to do that now. Theirs was practically the same thing as the LipoTrim, but it was a lot more expensive. They had a lot more variety. My goodness. Yeah, so they had a lot more variety in terms of the soups and food packages and bars and stuff. The shakes, they only had vanilla and chocolate, I believe. Did they? I don't think they had strawberry. They may have done, but I can't remember. However, they have different... On the Cambridge weight plan, they've got different levels depending on how much weight you want to lose and how much weight you've got, and how fast you want to lose the weight as well. So I started on Soul Source. I started on Soul Source level, so that was literally the very first level, and that was you didn't eat any food, you only used their products. It cost me around £145. Is it £145 or £175 a month? Because you had to have 3 shakes a day, 2 bars a day for your snacks in between your meals, and then you had soups as well, which you could swap out for the shakes if you wanted to. So imagine you had to have, say, 3 shakes and 2 bars a day every day. So you're paying for that supply for a whole month. It was a lot of money. Now, don't get me wrong, same as LipoTrim, it worked wonders. I remember I was treating myself to because I remember actually my husband, he wasn't my husband then, he's my husband now. He would say, don't treat yourself with food, treat yourself with other things like a spa day or manicure, pedicure, a massage, facial, whatever it is. Don't treat yourself with food as a prize for losing the weight. Treat yourself in other ways. So that's what I started doing. I would I'd get my hair done, or I'd go to the nail salon and get a manicure and pedicure and all of that. So that's what I was doing, and it was working amazing. However, I got to a point where I could no longer pay for it. The money I was receiving would no longer allow me to pay for what I needed to keep it going. I could only pay for a limited supply. So I started eating normal foods. And I tell you, I think I lost maybe a stone in my first 3 weeks. Then I lost another stone in another month's time. And I think I lost another half a stone the following month. So I think I did about 3 months of it and lost about 2.5 stone. And that was amazing to me, because I was like, every other diet I've done, I've never lost more than a stone. I've never gone beyond a stone. Something's always happened and I can't finish it, or I've stopped, or whatever it is. So I was gassed when I lost 2.5 stone on this. So I was like, yeah, this is it. It's going to happen. And then I couldn't pay for it. So the moment I started introducing food, now I tried to introduce food slowly and not eat a lot of carbs and all that, and try to keep up with my water intake. And within 2 months, I'd put on all the weight I'd lost and more. And you can imagine how much that messed with my mental, how much that messed with my self-esteem, how much that messed with my self-worth. Like, I felt like I was just crap because I couldn't just lose this weight. So I think I just stopped doing diets at that point. From what I remember, I would eat what I like and what I want. I'd like eat how. I was never a person who just ate junk all the time anyway. I did like to cook and eat healthy foods and whatnot, eat salads and, you know, have my chicken and veg or my meat and veg and whatever it is. I was never a person that just constantly ate junk. However, I was that girl who just found it very easy to put on weight and very hard to lose it. So I just got to a point where I was just like, okay, I just have to accept I'm going to be big. I'm just going to be big for a very long time, until I can find something that I can stick to, that is affordable and that will allow me to lose the weight. Then I'm just going to do what I'm doing. Like, I have no control at this point. That's how I felt anyway. So I just ate what I want when I wanted. And depending on how I felt, I would eat whatever I wanted to eat and drink whatever I wanted to drink. So that's how my life was. It was then 2015. I remember was it 2015? Yeah, 2015. I was supposed to get married on the 28th of October. The 25th of September, I got rushed into hospital with kidney failure. I also found out I had diabetes. Now, 3 months prior to this, I was coming to the end of my second year of my midwifery training, and I was trying to get a lot of assignments finished for the end so that I could complete, because everything else I'd complete, all my practicals I'd completed and passed. So I was having a lot of issues. I would have urine infections and then I would get something else, and it would be backwards and forwards from the GP getting medication for urine infections and other issues that I was experiencing. But they kept reoccurring over the 3 months. Now, it wasn't until I actually went to occupational health for Kingston Hospital, which is where I was working while I was training, where they actually said, have you ever thought of you having diabetes? And I was like, no. Because even though I was always a big girl and I ate what I want, I never had issues with like blood pressure, diabetes or anything like that. And she was like, okay, I think we should take a blood test. So she did take one, even though she was unable to take a lot of blood for some odd reason, because I was always a good bleeder, from my veins, of course. But yeah, it came back that I was borderline diabetic. No, that is a lie. Sorry. I never got the results back. It wasn't until I'd fallen ill and was rushed into hospital, that's when I was told that I was diabetic. I remember having my hen do. on the 23rd or the 22nd of September, and I threw up at the beginning of the day. I threw up near the middle of the day, and by the end of the day I was on the sofa with a high fever, shivering, feeling sick. So I was thinking, oh, I've got a flu. So days were going by and I was just like, this is getting worse. I don't know what this is. So I called my mum, and my mum was like, if it's not gone by the next day, call the ambulance. So that's what I did. Called the ambulance. They got there, they took my vitals, everything was, my blood pressure was through the roof, my heart rate was through the roof, my temperature was through the roof. They couldn't get any bloods from me, for some reason. What was the other thing? Oh yeah, they took my blood sugars and they couldn't get a reading. So they rushed me into the hospital. They called ahead to make sure that I was seen immediately when I arrived, which is what happened. Got there, and I remember them taking me into resus, which I thought was really odd, because obviously you think about resus, you think resuscitation. So I was thinking, oh, something's up, but I let them get on with it anyway. They were trying to find veins in my arms, my hands, my legs. They couldn't find any. They took my bloods and my blood sugars to find that my blood sugars were above 40. Now, with their monitors, they can only get a reading up to 40. So it had gone beyond 40. So that's when they told me that about, well, they didn't tell me then, but they told me that I'd got diabetes. I ended up on an ICU for a week on dialysis because my kidney stopped working, and then on the renal ward for 3 weeks. And that was all because I didn't look after myself. I was just eating what I wanted, and everything caught up with me. I'd always been quite lucky with my health up until that point. So after that, when I was finally released out of hospital, which was a few days before my wedding day was supposed to be, it took me a while to recover. My voice changed. It was very high, and it was very, I mean, if you think my accent sounds very Warsaw now, you should have heard what my voice was before. And I don't even have any footage of what my voice sounded like, and I wish I did so I could actually show you. But yeah, it took a while for me to recover. However, I found a friend called Sherelle Weir, a friend called Lauren. However, I found a friend who reached out to me about Juice Plus, and she gave me a lot of information about it. She'd done it herself, and she showed me her weight loss, and I thought, gosh, that is amazing. And by the sounds of it, it was not just it wasn't just a program where you use their products. They actually teach you about food and what's good for you, and what will help you lose weight as well, and also help you to. It also teach you how to maintain a healthy diet and maintain your weight loss once you come off the products. So we had a good talk about it. I had a good think about it, and I decided to go for it because I was like, I don't have anything to lose. I literally just lost my life, and it's time to really get serious and do something. So I thought, I've got the money to do it, so that's what I did. But what I did was I also signed up as a rep, as well as use the products, because what I wanted to do was kind of vlog my journey using the products and putting it out there. So that's what I actually did. So I was like recording videos, I was taking pictures of the food I was doing. I was recording videos of the food I was making, because I would give you like over 100 recipes of different foods that you can eat that are good for you. They tell you about cheat days, different cheat meals, cheat foods, different snacks you can eat. And when I say this plan allowed me to eat a lot of the foods that I already loved and already liked. They allowed me to find alternatives. So I didn't have to cut out carbs like I did with most diets. I would cut out stuff like added sugars and salts, fizzy drinks, and all that kind of stuff. I think the hardest part for me was the water, because I hated water anyway. I never really drank water. I drank a lot of pop. But I literally went from drinking pop to drinking straight water, 3 litres every day without fail. But I still got to eat the foods that I wanted to eat. So you do 2-week detox, and then you would go straight into the meal plan. But you'd have literally a shopping list of foods that give you your vegetables, your seasonings, your meats, your fish, snacks, stuff like nuts, not vegetables, I've already said that. Is there anything else? I don't think there's anything else, but they give you literally an extensive shopping list of foods that you can eat. And everything in green would be the food you can eat 80% of the time. Everything in black would be the food that you can eat 20% of the time. And after about a month or 2 of sticking to the meal plan, you can then start introducing cheat meals. Now, not cheat days or cheat weekends, but cheat meals. So for me, I started having cheat meals. In fact, I didn't really have cheat meals, I tell you, because we would go out, me and my husband would go out for meals. I remember going to Hash Burger, and everything I had was on plan. Like, I had I had a burger and sweet potato fries with coleslaw, and that was all on plan. And people wouldn't think it was, because it's real meat, lean meat, and it's sweet potatoes. It's not like normal white potatoes. It's all part of the plan. Whereas if you went to McDonald's, obviously that's not the type of burger and fries that you want to get, because it's all crap stuff. It's not real food. It's all about eating fresh produce, plant-based stuff, and real food. But obviously there's certain things that have to be in moderation. So I loved it. I enjoyed it so much. The meals that I was cooking, like all of that. And I remember in my first month I lost a stone. So I was like, fam, this is sick. So I was like, alright, every program I do, I lose a stone in my first month. So second month comes round, I lose another stone. I'm like, yes, come on, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. I think a third month came around, yeah, I lost the 3rd stone. And I was like, fam, this is amazing. It was just, it wasn't hard. Like, every day I ate. I ate 5 times a day. I had my breakfast, then I'd have a snack, then I'd have lunch, then I'd have a snack, then I had dinner, and then I'd have my 3 litres of water throughout the day. And then some on top, because I'd be drinking a lot of herbal teas. I cut out all my sugars out of my teas, because I used to have like 3 teaspoons of sugar. In fact, when I was a kid, I used to have 3 tablespoons of sugar in my tea. So it was just an amazing plan to be a part of, because you could eat the foods that you actually really liked, but you learned to make it healthy for you. You wouldn't just go out to McDonald's, KFC, Burger King and all them places just to get your fix. Or you wouldn't be constantly going to the takeaways, like the Chinese, the Indian, the pizza places, the fish and chip shops, because you could make it yourself and make it healthier. You don't put as much oil in, you don't put as much salt in, you don't do all of that. So it's all purging your body, and it's helping you to be in a position where you can lose the weight Now, after that 3 months, I fell pregnant with my son. So the amazing thing about Juice Plus was the products that you could use during pregnancy. So I was still using the products. I was still eating what I'd learned that I knew I could eat and love to eat throughout my pregnancy. I kept my blood sugar. I didn't need to take any medication for my diabetes. After, I think it was 2 months, after the second month of being on the program, and during my whole pregnancy. Now, anybody who knows anything about pregnancy, when you become pregnant, you become insulin resistant, which makes your blood sugars go right up. And that didn't happen with me the entire pregnancy. I think it was near the end, literally, I think it was like a couple of weeks before the pregnancy, before I was due. That's when my blood sugar started to go up. But I still managed to kind of keep some kind of control of it. So that's what I did. It was amazing. I even remember losing I maintained my weight during my pregnancy with my son. Amazing. I remember getting to the end when I did have him. After 3 weeks, I lost half a stone. Yeah. 3 weeks after I had him, I lost half a stone. This was still being on the program. So I think from that point, I was still eating my 3 meals a day, 3 snacks, and drinking my water, but I was just maintaining at this point. So, because I did start to eat more junk stuff, I was being more free with what I was eating. So I'd have more takeaways or have more McDonald's, fast foods and stuff like that. However, even though I was doing that, I was maintaining my weight. So I lost the weight in 2015, near the end of 2015. So since I've lost 3 stone, I've maintained that weight loss till now, and it's 2020. I've maintained that weight loss. The foundation that the Juice Plus program has set for me has allowed me to keep that weight off. I'm at my lowest weight I've ever been. I started at, I think it was 25 stone and £9, I think. I'm now at 22 stone and a half, I believe. I need to check that again, but I believe it's 22 and a half stone. So imagine, literally the smallest I've ever been. I'll put up some pictures so you can see the difference, because I see, even when I did my reaction video to my wedding, my highlights video to my wedding, and I was like, oh my gosh, just even in my face you could see the difference. My arms, my body in general, you can see the difference, and it was just amazing to me. So it's kind of given me now that want to start taking away all the junk and stuff, and just start eating how I used to when I was on the plan initially, because I want to start losing the weight again. To be fair, while we've been on lockdown, I have lost some weight. I think I've lost £8. But I did put some weight on near the end of my pregnancy with my daughter. So I basically lost the weight that I put on near the end. So I'm back to what I was before. So I'm kind of pumped because I want to start losing the weight again. So I am going to be doing more videos on the foods that I'm eating and stuff like that, and just how I'm getting on with the Juice Plus again. So you're all going to see this. You're going to see my journey, and hopefully you'll see the transformation happening as each video goes by, and maybe it will encourage some of you to want to join me on the Juice Plus journey. As I said, I am a rep, so just get at me if you want any information or anything like that. Just let me know, and I'm happy to give you what you need. But yeah, listen, that was just a quick one. There's going to be no more videos. I say quick one. Half an hour. Okay, it's time for me to go. So thank you guys for watching. Please, if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to follow me. Click the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I drop a new video. And please stay blessed, stay positive, and stay safe in your homes. Peace out.